everybody, and welcome to Life Chats with Maggie and Bunny. I'm Maggie.
And I'm Bunny.
Well, today we have a guest with us. Bunny, how about you tell us about her?
Absolutely. So this is Mélanie Beamer. Mélanie is a Divine Intuitive Transformational Mentor. She guides awakening individuals who are ready to embark on their soul journey to achieve healing, forgiveness, and inner peace by realigning them within their hearts so they can live authentically and follow their divine soul missions. Mélanie is a published author of 2 bilingual books, Intuitive Messages from the Divine Gaïa Messages, Intuitive Divine de Gaïa, Volume 1 and Volume 2, and many collaborative books with At Above and Beyond. Mélanie is a public speaker and has offered presentations on different platforms, World Unity Week 2022 and 2023, weekly presentations on 99 Days of Peace through Unity and Peace Week. In January of 2024, she offered 3 presentations on 7 days of rest and reweaving wholeness. Mélanie is a medium and oracle card reader and channels weekly messages from Mother Earth Gaia. Mélanie is a virtual community leader and gathers people all around the world weekly in her groups. Perfect. Thank you for that. And Awakening Collective Consciousness, and offers energetic healing sessions to clients. Please reach out to Mélanie at melanie.beamer.author@gmail.com. And Mélanie, this is your time now. Hi, Mélanie.
Hello, Mélanie. Welcome to At Above and Beyond Life Chats. We're happy to have you here today. So for the first question today, I'd like to ask you, for our listeners who may not be aware of what you do or who you write about, who is Gaïa? Tell us that.
Okay. So it all started with me. Like, I always communicated with Mother Earth. I took some shaman courses and some other different courses, but I'd never had a name put to Mother Earth. So in 2021, I started asking more questions to Mother Earth to give me more signs of what I'm supposed to be doing, what my missions are supposed to be. So, and I had, and so shortly after I asked those questions, I started having these light beings that showed up in my room. So it started with 3 light beings in the night coming in the room. So at first they were just shining their light. And then the second week they came in, they said to open my heart and let the light shine in. And allow this love and light to enter my heart. So, and then on the 3rd week, they're like, you need to come with us to the core of the earth. Somebody is anxiously waiting for you. So I went with them. And when I went down to the core of the earth, I met this beautiful goddess named Gaïa. And she called me the ambassador of the divine, which at first I didn't question. This motherly, unconditional love just grabbed me in her arms and held me. And she asked me if I was willing to do work for humanity, and if I was ready to do my soul missions. And I said yes. And after that, it kept on going. So I came back from that meditation, and then these light beings started to gather in my room even more and more and more, and they were very, very bright. It was even waking up my husband because he was thinking I was turning the light on in the middle of the night. And I'm like, no, honey, we have company. Just open your heart and let this love and light in. And then they started to ask me too to send out light and love to other people. So, and to plants and animals and people all around the world. And then a few weeks later, I got woken up at 4:44 in the morning with God's voice telling me that I needed to leave the school board. Here I had been an educator for over 20 years in the education system, and he told me that I needed to leave my job so I could do these soul missions that him and Gaïa, Mother Earth, have for me, for humanity. That I have soul missions and passions that I need to do. So then I was like, oh, I need to tell my husband this. How is this gonna go? So anyways, after a few weeks of him digesting what I said I have to trust them, because even God had said, please trust us and trust me. I never let you down, and I won't let you down. So even the day that I resigned, I was teaching, and because I was teaching online virtually at home. And these 3 wild turkeys came out of the field, and they came moseying on right to the window where I was teaching. So we went back in class, and and when we were in between going back in class, I hurried up and took a picture of these 3 wild turkeys, because I knew that nobody was going to believe me that these 3 wild turkeys came at my window. So when they came at my window, they lined up one by one, looked at me, and bowed. So I couldn't wait till the morning break to go see what the spiritual meaning of these 3 huge wild turkeys meant. So it meant community, bringing people together, working, following your divine passions, your divine missions, um, pure love, messages, a lot of different things. So I was like, ooh, I'm on the right path. This is exactly what they're trying to tell me. So then the 2 weeks after, because I gave my 2 weeks notice, the second week after I left the school board, then I was talking about some spiritual things with a cousin of mine. And I look as we're talking on the phone, and I'm like, there's a deer right at the same window as these turkeys. Just a minute, I gotta go grab my cell phone so I could take a picture. So when I grabbed my phone, I noticed there's not just one deer, there was 2 deers. And there was a male and a female. So I said to her, I said, well, God and Gaïa are here. And they're telling me again that I'm ready to follow these missions. So a few nights later, I got woken up in the night by Mother Earth Gaïa. And she said, get a pen and paper, because I'm channeling you a message. So she channeled me my first English message. And then as the weeks went on, she did this for a few weeks, just in English, would wake me up again around 4:44 in the morning with this beautiful message. And then I'm like, I wonder if I should be translating these messages in French, or I'm not sure what to do. So I left it for a few days like that. And then here she is. She woke me up at 4:44 one morning. She's like, today's a French message. So here you go. So then I got these English and French messages. And then I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing with these messages? She's like, I want you to start gathering people from all over the world. And I want you to start virtual community groups online. So she gave me the name, L'éveil de la conscience collective for my French group, and Awakening Collective Consciousness for my English group. And then I said, well, where am I supposed to find all these people? And she says, these people are awakened. They're ready. You'll find them. So I started just texting friends and other family members and stuff, and started gathering my groups. And then as I was doing this as well, and she's like, well, the channel messages that I give you every week, first of all, you'll share that with them. And then you'll have a discussion with the group about the message. And then you guys will have another topic. And then you could do an oracle card reading, or you could do some mediumship, treat them with a mediumship all message evening. And so I do all these kind of things with my groups every week. So, and it's a place where everybody can feel safe, and everybody can become family, really. And so anyway, so then that's how it all started. I started these groups, and then a few weeks went by, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gathering all these messages. So I continued with the groups. And then in about March of that year, March, April, I was just cleaning out my gardens. And then I heard her say, this year, you're going to be writing 3 books. I said, 3 books? Me? And she goes, 1 solo, 2 collaborative books. I'm like, me? I've always enjoyed journaling, and I've always written diaries. And I remember as a young child and a teenager, I loved writing. And then I even guided and helped my daughter when she was 8 to write a story for the library, which she had won. And so I thought, oh, I do have that talent with books, but what am I supposed to do it about? So I met a friend of mine shortly after, and she's like, oh, I was in this Mother's Love, and I just wrote with this company at Above and Beyond, and we're writing another collaborative book in June. Would you be interested? And as soon as she told me what the title was, I'm like, I think I have to. And and then I got all the nudges, and my father had passed away, and my father had kept coming to visit me as a cardinal, and tapping on my window, getting my attention. And the attention was, yes, you're writing in this collaborative book. And then, so I knew Gaïa had said 2 collaborative books and my own solo. So then when I came to my solo book, I said, what is that one supposed to be? So she said to me, she's like, you know, all the messages that I give you weekly for your groups, you're going to put them together and you're going to put them in one book. I said, well, you mean 2 books, right? Because English and French. And she's like, no. She goes, my French messages are not the same as my English messages. So you put them together and you have a full bilingual book, and it will make your book unique. So this is how I put together intuitive messages from the Divine Gaia, Message Intuitif Divin de Gaia. And then I decided to keep it the same way for the first and the second book. So, because it goes well with me meeting with my virtual community groups on Sunday with my French group and on Monday with my English group. So as I went along, I got more people. My French group grew and my English group grew. I've got people from Germany that wake up at 1 a.m. to be in my group. I've got people from Bermuda, and I've got people from the States, and I've got people from all over Canada, and it keeps growing and growing. And my French community is growing as well. And I have people locally, I have people in Quebec, I've got people in Sudbury, and eventually I really want to touch people in France, Europe, and all of those areas. But I know I will have to change my time zone because I don't think they're going to be willing to get up in the middle of the night like my brave soul sister in Germany. There's 2 in Germany that sometimes join in. So, but not everybody is so strong-willed and loving and caring to get up in the middle of the night. So it's been an adventure, and it's been so nice to bring people together. We support one another, we share together, and I give everyone a chance and a voice as well in my group to talk. So yes, I might lead the group, but it's a community group where everyone comes together and shares. And this is what I decided to make my group unique. And I had the nudge in 2017, 2018 to be doing this, and I just didn't know exactly how to go until all the pieces came together. And Gaia has also guided me to give people their ambassador names and their soul missions. So ambassador names is not what we think of the word ambassador here on Earth. The ambassador name is the name that the divine beings give us as our unique birth name. So everyone's got a different name, and everyone's got a unique name. And all their missions are individually chose with their talents and gifts that they have inside of them. And what I find very interesting about the soul missions is that since I've been giving people their soul missions since 2021, some people, as they grow and evolve and shift, their missions can shift as well. Or they could be added new missions to the ones that she's already given them. So that's been very interesting too. And the interesting thing is too, is that first when she started giving me the names and missions, some people I knew, but some people she's like, oh, you're going to find out somebody, a friend or somebody else will know this person, and you're going to be communicating with somebody in Bermuda, you're going to be communicating in Germany and Africa, all over the place. And I'm like, well, I don't know people all over there. She's like, just trust us. The communication will do. And every time everything synchronized and got put together and communicated with each other, and it was fun. And sometimes what I enjoyed too, some of them didn't even tell me they were sisters or cousins or whatever, and then they all lead out, or friends that they went to university with or whatever. So it was just amazing that at the end they're like, you're a psychic medium, you kind of knew this, didn't you? And I'm like, yes. So channeling was something totally new with me with Gaia, because I was born a psychic medium. I've always known things all my life, but never channeled like I do right now with Mother Earth Gaia or other beings. Sometimes it's archangels and angels and masters and different people. But the main one is Gaia weekly. She'll give me that message. And now I even started my YouTube channel in November, where I do share her messages, the weekly messages. So I do have to make them a little shorter, because right now they're only letting me do like shorts or little clips. So eventually I could share more, but in my weekly groups, they get the full message and we get the discussion part of it. So on my YouTube channel, you guys could find me on Your Inner Infinity Connection. And I give a French one and I give an English one. So I have one of each, just like I do with my groups and just like my book that Gaia kind of guided me. So, and I'm also an energetic healer. I had been doing that since a little while, like 2015, 2016, but not really often. So, and then when 2018 hit, then I started doing that a little bit more, but 2021 and above has really grown. And since 2022, 2023, I have a spiritual team that joins me in the healing now. And the things have been phenomenal and totally knew the frequencies and energy of the healings at a new level, new depth. Plus I'm using tuning forks, and the tuning forks bring it to a new healing, a new vibration to the crystals and stones and drums and all the other instruments that I use. So, and the clients, it's just amazing to see them shine when they leave and get their feedback with their healing of how much it's changed in their life. Or even 2 weeks to 2 months later, I still feel the energy. I still feel the vibration. So that makes me feel really special, but I'm not the one that's doing it. It's them. It's all you. It's when a person is ready to do their own healing, their own journey, their own discoveries, even their own shift in the world. I'm just a guide. I'm just guided spiritually to be that guide, to be that mentor. And then I've also, in 2022, I did 2 intuitive camps. I did one in person and one online with children ages 5 to 12. That was phenomenal as well. And I would like to offer maybe this in the future, but this year I started doing families instead. So I have families that I've created workshops specifically for what they want to learn intuitively, and exercise and visuals that they can practice with one another. And what a gift that is for a family to be able to share their gifts and talents together. So this is something I want to offer more to others around the world. And I'm doing it virtually because the families does not live here in Canada. They live overseas. So, and it's just a gift to be able to see them grow, to see them shine. And the one little one, she was in my summer camps back in 2022. And then I gave her one-on-one training for 6 months. And now to see her a few years later, how she's flourished in her gifts and how passionate she is. And now to have mom and sister with her, it's a gift in itself. It's a big miracle to see, and to see her passion and love towards her own gifts and intuition. It's something else that people need to be able to connect with more and to really be themselves. So now I really understand when I got my business name. I didn't realize at the time that I got it channeled, because for months I tried to find the right name, and all of a sudden it just came to me, and I thought, okay, maybe it's my mediumship, me. And my business name is Your Inner Infinity Connection. And at first I did not realize why it was all these little words, but it all begins with us and our inner self. Our own growth, our journey, our pathway comes from within. And when we do all that forgiveness and healing, and even go down and healing generations and generations and our ancestors and the generations to come, we are giving not ourselves that gift, but to everyone else. And as we continue, we spread that love to other people, to all of humanity, to animals, to plants, because we're all connected. We are all one with the cosmos, the universe. We're one. We always thought we were separated, but we are not. And we are all from that one seed, and we all join together. So I've been doing that. I also do mediumship and oracle card readings, and then my groups, and then my books. And I'm going to continue to be writing more books. Will I write another solo book? I know there'll be another one. I keep saying no for this year, but I keep hearing a nudge here and there, so I don't know. But as far as I know, I thought I was having a little break on that, but we'll see. And but for sure, for the collaborative books, I'm all in. I already wrote one this year, which was the grand experiences. I'm in the process of writing the next one that's supposed to be due and handed in by April 1st. And then I'm sure there'll be more as the year comes along. So this is where I am right now. I
Why,
do
thank you.
speaking. I forgot about public speaking, and I do a lot of public speaking on different platforms and mediumship on different platforms as well.
Right. Thank you so much. That's incredible. It, as you were speaking, I was thinking about how divine connections do happen. And for people listening to us, if you are on that inner journey and want to hear more from Mélanie, you can reach out to her and it'll be listed. But for me, it kind of just clicked to me within even how all of us are connected. The people here in this podcast, us even talking together, us having this opportunity and getting together. Because I remember when our friend Anne told me about you, and I said, in my heart, I just knew, in my gut, I just knew I got to meet this lady. And then when you wrote in the fatherhood book, and I think that was the one, the first one.
Yep.
And you came to the launch party at my house. And after the party was all over and we were sitting there and you were telling us about Gaïa and what you do, and I'm thinking, ooh, I don't know, that's a little out there. Like, that's just a little out there.
Even
That's
honestly,
kind of,
for me, it was even a little out there.
that's a little weird. And all of a sudden, Spirit said to me, Maggie, you leave your bed in the middle of the night and travel and go places in spirit and talk to angels.
Yeah.
And you don't think that's weird?
Yeah. I had the same thing where I was like, this is going to be the line. This is where you're going to have your line, Bunny. You've always believed in channeling aliens and everything. Why not, Gaïa? So yeah, Mélanie helped us both expand.
Yeah. And
that.
it's all about expanding what we believe when it's time. And that's kind of the point of it to me, is we don't need to expand our belief system until it's time. But when it's time, we have to be open to the possibilities that there's way more out there than we understand and that we believe. And Bunny and I have talked about that on various occasions,
Yes.
that there's way more out there in the cosmos than the little tidbit that our brain can comprehend at this moment of time. And the synchronicities that bring that all together are incredible, absolutely incredible. And no one of us has the exact same journey.
Yeah.
You know, I've never necessarily had light beams come into my house and wake me up at 4:44 in the morning. But does it make it any less real that that happens to you? No.
Right.
Like,
Right.
it's wild. You've maybe never done the experiences that I've done or that Bunny's had. And
Right.
is there only one way to connect with Creator? No.
Yeah.
There's 7 billion trillion ways to connect with Spirit. And we just need to be open to whatever those ways might be. And all of us in this world are on a different journey and on a different path and finding our way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
Anything to add, Bunny?
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna add stuff. Bean was gonna bark, so but you know, one of our mascots. But anyways, yes, I wanted to say, like, I think an even better touch about it too is the fact that Mélanie brings the bilingualness to it as well. So adding the French connection, the French part of that as well, is it's amazing, because exactly what she said when I was, because we did help her publish her books, her solo books. And I did say I couldn't do the French part because I'm not sure about that. So she had to get a different editor. But I understood that the fact that it wasn't just like a translation of the English, how it was a completely new. So like if you can understand just French, you can get a lot of value from it. If you are bilingual, you get 104 messages, right? So you can have so many, you can pick and choose. And even though they are done like, you know, we like 1, 2, 3, like that kind of thing, it doesn't have to be done in order, right? You can randomly pick any of them. So
It's written almost like a journal. So you
right.
could one and then take that message with you for the week. And the thing is, it's written for all of humanity. So it's not
Right.
written in general just for one person. It's written for everyone.
Right.
I had just been chosen to pass it on to humanity. And the thing is, it's what I'm hearing from other people from all over the world right now. They text me or they call me or they're sending me emails saying of how much one passage was really meant for them. They're like, even the title, everything, that was meant for me. And I was like, it probably touched somebody else the same way too. But it was hilarious. I had a friend that came a few weeks ago, and here she was. She had all these little things lined up here with notes of how much that message meant to her. And I was like, well, I'm really glad. That's why Gaia guided me to do this. And so it's been really the feedback, and some people too see it as messages to prepare them for things. Because as a psychic medium, I do predict things. And with channeling, a lot of the times they could be predictions.
Yeah.
So it depends how people take it and see it. I'm not saying every message is a prediction.
Well, I think it goes with what Maggie says too, because each of us are on our path and at a time. So those messages may resonate more with you at specific times in your life than they would in other times. And so, as more people find the stories, and even though you wrote, the volume 2 was written last year and volume 1 written the year before, it's timeless. They're timeless messages, right? They're not specifically for that. So,
and I think it goes uniquely too, and why people connect depends where they are on their path and on their journeys. So that's why a message could be from here and then still go from there, and they may have one of each that connects with them. So it's funny. And then some are trying to see how they could translate the French one in English so they could understand that, oh, that one's talking to me too. So and vice versa, people that are French can translate it in English, and it's the same thing for them for that one message. So that's unique as well, because how many books can you say you could do that with? There are some odd bilingual books out there, but working for the French board for years, we did not really see bilingual books.
Right.
And I always thought, what would it be like for our students to have bilingual books? I'm not saying my book will get into that school board, but
you never know.
Never know. But I mean, it's a gift for bilingual people as well, and francophone people to have that instead of buying 2 books, they have it in one. So,
well, it certainly is our gift to have you here today. And I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm gonna because I have this feeling in my chest right now that if I don't follow through on it, I'm gonna probably beat myself in the head. But I have this feeling that there's somebody listening to this podcast who needs a message. And I believe there's somebody listening to this podcast that Gaia has a message for. And that's why on this day, at this moment, you're here talking to us. So I'm just wondering if you could either, and you can do it however you want, either open your book to a specific page, to a message that's already written, or just open your heart and feel what Gaia has for this person or people, or for this day, the people listening to this podcast. I just deeply feel in my heart that there's a specific message to be had for somebody listening to this podcast.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and send me a message. So I'll go ahead with a whole new message for all of you here. My dearest light beings, you are all on your own path and journey. But the biggest thing for each of and one of you is to listen to your heart, follow your own pace. Do not rush the space and time, because time, like you know, does not exist. But by following your heart and soul, it will guide you at the right time, the right divine timing. Your impatience comes from your human side, not your soul side and your divine self. So when you're ready, you just got to be open and follow along. Go with the flow. Trust the process. And have confidence that everything is working for your highest good. And if things that you put out to the universe that you want but is not happening, either A, it's because it's supposed to be even better than what you ever imagined, and it's still in the process, or it's not supposed to happen because it wasn't for your highest good. And all of you guys are called upon right now to help others, to be open to the guidance of others, because so many are seeing that light and are waking up, but think they're alone, think there's no one else out there to be able to guide them on their journey and path. So you will see and feel and hear the nudges from us soon to guide the people that will come to you. You don't even have to search for them. They will find you. So just be the light. Send out love and light. Wisdom Whisperer, your Divine Mother Earth Gaia.
Wow.
I
That
may
chills
have
all
been
over me.
I may have been one of the people who needed to hear that message right now.
I'm going to have to re-listen to it because
Yeah.
I was channeling it. So I'm sure I need to hear it myself. So.
Yeah, and so that is the thing. So you are a channel. So we'll talk a little bit about channeling. So for those of you listeners out there who don't know, channeling is just where you get into a state, sort of like a meditative state, and you can kind of connect with the consciousness that is not your own mind and your humanness, and you just kind of give the message, and that can come through in a multitude of different ways. Knowings, hearing, you could be auditory, could be visual, so different ways that you can get the messages. Now some people are trance channels, meaning that their consciousness kind of steps out and they don't know what's happening, and some people are conscious channels. So Mélanie, would you say that you're like more of a conscious channel? Like, are you still there even though you're not understanding what's happening? Or
I feel like that's the one I'm at, because I know I'm there, but
okay.
it's her taking over.
Okay.
So, and it's hilarious too, because I remember a few mornings my husband asking me a question, because he's like, because a lot of times with the messages, because she goes so fast, and I don't type very fast, but I take my phone and put it on my notes. And then one time my husband's like, who are you texting? And man, you're texting fast. And I guess I turned around and I responded, it's Mother Earth Gaia. Mélanie is away for a little bit. She'll be back. So my husband turned around. He's like, okay. So then when I came back to me and the message was over, he's like, you told me you were Mother Earth Gaia. And I did not know I did that. So if he didn't tell me that, I wouldn't have known exactly how I am when I channel her.
But that's more of a trans channel, even right
Also,
there.
so, but I know I'm
both.
there, but
Maybe it's both.
her.
Yeah.
I couldn't answer. I didn't want to lose her.
Right.
Wait, she was about halfway through her message. So to finish off her message first and then come back to me.
Okay. So maybe
I know both. I'm there. I don't feel like I'm gone, that I'm like out of consciousness. Like I'm there, I'm present.
Yeah. I do know I've heard some people say that they are like, it's almost like they're dreaming. So like they don't know what's happening in the room. And I know, Maggie and I had been close to Leanne. I can't remember what her last name is, Kaufman, I think, who does the trans channeling, and she has to have her husband or somebody with her because she completely goes trans. Like so somebody could come up and like touch her and stuff, or there could be an emergency in the room and she would have no idea, like, because she's not present at all. Like her humanness is not there. So I guess you're saying your humanness is still there. You still, yeah. Okay.
But when I feel her coming, I usually protect myself too, because I know that I've done some meditations that my body got out of my body and I'm floating, and I've always been nervous with these because they call it trance meditation or whatever. Yeah. So to really protect, so another soul or something does not come in. Right. So even when I feel her coming, even though I know it's her, I still protect myself.
Okay.
And so I know I'm there.
Yep.
But it's just there for that moment to pass the message along for humanity, for everyone.
And I did have a question too. I know that we talked, it's so funny because of, with me being highly intuitive, when you did write your book with us last year, the first one, volume 1, is that I did make sure that I put in Gaïa and volume 1 because I knew there was going to be another one. And also I knew there would be channelings from other sources, like not just Gaïa. And so I do know that you've been recently channeling other beings. Can you just
Yeah.
share a little bit about who else you've been channeling?
Yes, I've had Jesus come for a few times for the English group and the French group. I've had angels, archangels. I've had Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael. I've had different masters. I always get his name wrong. Yoganda, Yonaganda,
I'm not sure who it is.
I'd have to go get his book.
You know, that's okay.
He's from India. And he was one that really guided me to take Ayurveda years ago, and brought me to the ashram where I went and did all my studies there. So he's one that brought it here to Canada and to the States and stuff, but years and years ago. And he's very powerful. And some of the messages I got, even when I was there in 2015, is that I was connecting with a lot of these other gods and goddesses, even from their country. And like, even in my room, I didn't realize there was this little picture on my wall, and it was a little boy playing an instrument. I did not realize that it was Krishna until I was waking up singing Krishna, Krishna, Ari, Krishna, Krishna, Ari. And I'm like, oh, this is a different song. I honestly don't know this song. Why am I singing this song? So the next morning, we went into the temple and we went and did some meditation and some satsang. And all of a sudden they started singing Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. So I was like, okay, I still don't know exactly who that is. So can't wait to see my teacher so I could ask her. So in the afternoon, when I went for my Ayurvedic wellness counselor course, I said to the teacher, I said, I really need to know, who's this Krishna? Because he's talking to me and he's giving me messages, and I'm even singing Krishna, 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 even before I even went into the temple this morning. She's like, wow, you're connecting with Krishna? That's a gift. And even the teacher herself, when I went to the ashram, that was hilarious too. Because first of all, I had studied Ayurveda for about a year. I got all the books I could. I had learned, first of all, from on TV with Yogi Cameron, and he was doing sessions with people in their homes. So when I had learned from him, I was like, oh, wow, I need to learn more about Ayurveda and that kind of thing. So I got every book possible at Book Outlet and Book Depot. So I studied them and I wrote so many notes so that I'm like, I need to contact somebody in Canada that does Ayurveda. So anyways, I found this doctor here in Mississauga, in Toronto area. So then I sent her an email, and then she responded back, and she's like, well, I teach Ayurveda wellness counselor, and if you'd like to come to the course, she goes, I have even a better idea than you coming to see me here. She goes, I'll be in Montreal at an ashram. Why don't you come and do that experience with me? So I didn't know what she looked like. I knew nothing yet. So then when I first got there and I got to meet her, a flashback came back at me. I remember being 8 years old, swinging on my swing and having this conversation with this lady saying that she was going to be my mentor someday. And there she was standing right in front of me. And when I saw her, I said, I need to tell you something. I met you when I was 8 years old. We had a conversation and I knew that I was going to meet you right here at this location, at this ashram, for you to be my teacher. And she was amazed. So she was very, very open to my intuitive gifts and sides. And she was amazed the whole time I was there. But I found out that that little picture on my wall in my bedroom that time was Krishna, when he was younger. So, and then when we graduated, she gave us a pin with the baby Krishna. So I thought that was really cute. And another person that was in the course, she went and got her book, and she goes, I had that nudge to bring this book to this course, and I didn't know why. And I felt somebody was going to need it. And it was all a book about the whole history of Krishna. So I thought, wow, she goes, that's meant for you. This is the person I was supposed to meet. So you see the synchronicities in our souls, how when we're supposed to meet, we're supposed to meet. And for me, my gift really came to, and it grew even more, was in 2019. 2019, I went to a yoga retreat because part of my Ayurvedic at the time, my Ayurveda was missing the yoga part because the teacher at the ashram was not the right teacher for me, because we all have the right teachers that come and go. So I had this Swami Mahesh. he's an amazing man. He came from India to give us this course and the yoga for that weekend. And that weekend was an incredible weekend. I did not know that the moon was the Buddha moon, because it ended up being on that long weekend in May. And so the first night, the moon woke me up and gave me a message and said, when the message was, through darkness and rain, you will be helping humanity on a big scale. And people from all over the world, be ready to help others. Humanity. And then they send me this bright white light to my heart. And the whole body was just shaking and vibration. And then gave me 2 messages for my 2 roommates that were there. And then I went back to sleep, got woken up again at 4:44. And this time it was a big heart on the wall. And it said, love to you for everything you're going to do to help humanity. And also love that you have for all of humanity, and shine your light to help others. And I couldn't sleep after that. So I couldn't wait till the next morning to have a chance to talk to Swami Mahesh and say, excuse me, I need to talk to you. Something exciting happened last night. And when I said that to him, he's like, Mélanie, wow. He goes, your chakras are open, and you don't have just 7 chakras. Your chakras beyond your crown are open. And he goes, I would love to bring you to Mount Kailash, because the spiritual connection you would have over there. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I really need to go there to evolve as much as I can. And then with everything happening in 2019, and then COVID hit, and I was like, okay, I'm not meant to be going to India. So I need to keep doing this on my own. So I continued doing mantras with Deepak Chopra. I bought a bunch of his programs. And during COVID, in between teaching online, I was doing these mantras, and I was getting messages and meditations, and I was having other beings and everything come in to talk to me and giving me predictions and all different things. And these mantras got me even more and more open. And then there I was with Gaïa. And it's amazing, because him and I are still good friends. And he's like, Mélanie, you've done this and you didn't even come to see me. And I was like, well, maybe someday I'll still go to Mount Kailash. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So you see where your journey and where you find the right teachers too. So there'll always be certain teachers that, even if you guys don't connect, there could be a message in there that you need to heal or to have to get you to the next step. But when you find that right path, the right teacher, the right guides, you know you're on the right path. And then sometimes you just need that teacher or that guide for a little while. Like, I have clients that come heal what they need to, and they're on their own, and they don't need me. And then some other ones need to come back. So, and that's okay. That's the way their soul is growing. And that's why too, when we have people that come together and other healers and a network, this is why we can help one another, because we all have our own unique gifts and talents. And sometimes they need to go and experience things with the others as well. So, and networking, I think, and community is the future. And Gaïa mentions that so many times in so many of her messages, that we need to come together. And that's why I'm so happy that I listened to that nudge and that instinct and that intuition to open the 2 community groups that I have. And I also follow other community groups that I'm in as well. So yeah, it's part of the journey. Wow. And we should say too, that I am in another group with Maggie and Bunny, and we have our friend Linda. We also started these podcasts in January, Voices of Empowerment, that we meet and give you guys we talk about a topic once a month, all of you guys, on the third Sunday of every month. So, and this month it's actually my turn, and it's going to be Patrick's. So
We'll be St. Patrick's Day. By the time everybody hears this podcast, they'll have to go back and look at the replay.
That's right. Look at the recording.
But that's okay. I mean, it's gonna be amazing to even see that. And listening to you today has just, I don't know, there's so much I've learned even more about you. And and I've known you a couple of years. I don't know, Maggie, what do you feel about this as well, right?
I think it's everything in its perfect timing. And that, what you just said at that last bit, not everybody has to go to India.
Yeah.
Not everybody has to go to some great leader like Deepak. You don't have to do that. Spirit meets you where you are. When it's time for you to awaken and find connections, they can be in the strangest places.
Yeah.
You know, they can be anywhere. They can be in your own little meditation closet, office, wherever. It can be riding on a bus.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can be on a subway. It can be anywhere. You're going to make those connections that you need to make. And it's all about trusting. It's all about trusting
And being open, I think, too.
and being open to it.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're honored to have you here today and honored to help you to get your books published. And if there's other people who are feeling that connection, that they have something they want to share, wow, we'd be honored to help others as well,
For sure.
because we're still figuring out why this whole Out Above and Beyond came to be. And, you know, we're still figuring out live chats and how that all grows and how it changes and evolves. So, you know, yeah, we're here. And this was for such a time as this. On the day that you're hearing this is the day that you're supposed to hear this.
Yep, for sure.
And if you want to connect with Mélanie or Bunny or Maggie, myself, however, if you are connected and if you are feeling a nudge that spirit is calling you to do something, just follow it.
Yeah.
Just say okay. Just say yes.
For sure. Exactly. Say
So
yes.
Bunny, you tell them, how do they reach us?
So, well, I do want to ask Mélanie if she has, I know she has some places where we could reach her. So do you want to just share that? And then I will talk about us here at Out Above and Beyond. We will include it in our descriptions as well for anybody who misses it during the podcast listening.
I have my website, that's melaniebeamer.ca. And I also have my email address, that's yourinnerinfinityconnection@outlook.com, or Mélanie Beamer author@gmail.com. And then my YouTube channel is Your Inner Infinity Connection. So these are some of the ways you could connect with me. And I want to thank Bunny and Maggie for having me here. It was a great honor to be here with you guys.
Yeah, and if anybody's interested in your groups, they can always email you at either of those email addresses, and we can get you connected with that. It is, you do hold them. I know the French one is at what time on Sundays?
Sundays from 7 to 8 ES.
Okay.
Yeah.
EST or
I have to say it because it's everywhere around the world. I have people from different time zones. And then on Monday nights, so l'éveil de la conscience collective is Sunday from 7 to 8 Eastern time. And then on Mondays is Awakening Collective Consciousness from 7 to 8 Eastern time as
well. Yep. And who knows what else she's going to do in the future. There's so many things. She gets very busy and caught up in a lot of different avenues, which is just amazing. So you can keep a lookout on that. But to find us at Above and Beyond, obviously you can reach out if you want to be a guest with us as well, just like Mélanie was here. If you have something to talk about, that's awesome. We have had other people reach out to us actually to be guests as well, which we're just so pleased with and looking forward to doing more special guests on our podcasts. We might even be able to do 2 a month. we haven't figured it out yet. But yeah, so Out Above and Beyond @gmail.com. If you want to email us, you can visit our website, outoboveandbeyond.com, or go on our Facebook page, YouTube channel, and also Spotify and everywhere else that you can find podcasts. I really want to thank Mélanie for coming today.
Thank you.
It's been very nice.
It's an honor to be here with all of you. Thank you.
Okay, well, everybody else, we'll see you next week, I guess.
That's it. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.